Okay, so this is how I make wedge cuts. This one I'm not actually going to propagate. I just sacrificed a leaf from Nordic Glacier. So I use my X-Acto blade, which I normally just wipe off with an alcohol pad. And I just take the stem at the petiole, like I'm paring a potato or an apple. Just cut it off. Now, I lay this down and I usually look for the 4 biggest veins. Except I think I'm going to turn the camera here, so bear with me. So I would count them as 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to start by taking a cut right down the middle, right here. And I apologize if you probably can't see this that well. Okay, so see, I left some margin around the vein. Now, since this is not working, let me flip the camera one more time. I am basically going to take, this V right here to be the wedge. So I'm going to trim, I'm not going to trim up that way. I'm going to trim and then cut up that way to make it so it's not as wide at the top. So if you can't see this, remember what it looks like if you can. See, that's what I took off. So the vein is closer. Now I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to cut right to the right-hand side of that vein. I'm left with this. Now, I'm going to trim that little bit there. It's bothering me. I'm probably going to trim about up to there. Straight across. Now, I have to open the veins at the bottom, so I'm going to make a straight cut right across there. So you have this. See that? And that's what I use, actually, an old plant marker tag. And I just kind of stick that in and wiggle it, you know, back and forth to make a little slot. And then I put that in and I kind of hold it, and I use one of my squirt bottles that have this tip, and I kind of squirt the water around it as I'm holding it, and then as it washes down, it kind of grabs it and keeps it in place. So this would be, I would get one. Now this edge here at the corner, I'm going to cut right down here. You can see the went along the vein there. And then I'm going to cut down here. So I have this, and the same as before, I'm going to cut right across the point, take the tip off so the veins are open. And with that, I probably won't square it off. Excuse me. Now we'll go back to the other half, and I want to use these veins here. So I'm going to trim along that. Actually, no. I'm keeping this vein and this vein so I can come up along here. There we go. So see, I'm left with that. So I am going to cut down along there. So see, I have that left. And I'm going to square that off a little. And then, again, cut the tip. So they're both open. And then I should be able to, and it may or may not take, but this fork right there. And some people may cut them different than I do. It's all personal preference, but I'm just kind of trying to follow the rails of the veins here, and then of course open the very bottom of that. So as of now, I have 4. I have the 2 end pieces and the 2 middle pieces. Now, you can look over this here, but I've never had success with the veins. Not to say that nobody else out there has, but I have never had success with these veins, these much smaller ones. Now, I maybe would try and get this fork right there, but it's going to be really, really thin. Sorry, this is... So see, there is a... There. Cut the veins open. And then there's potentially one. I'll lay that up ahead. Like I said, this piece, I really don't think I've had success. Or that was... They're too thin, too fine. They're not turgid enough. They're not filled with enough water. So normally I get 4, but like I said, sometimes there was this 5th one, but let me lay these out. I'll add that 5th one. And that's what they look like. The back side. These are the 2 that usually take the best. But these end ones, I've had growth come from. So that's how I cut my wedges. I hope it helps.